Good afternoon, Eoin Lambkin. How are you?
Gary, I'm good here in the sunny north of Ireland as it's lashing outside the window here, so I'm good.
Well, welcome to the relocated Doheny and Nesbits. The,
And an impressive bar it is too.
we are definitely practicing social distancing. There's at least 400 miles between you and I. What part of sunny Northern Ireland are you?
Well, I'm in County Down. I'm about 15 miles south of Belfast, in the middle of the Drumlins, which is these lovely rolling hills, not far from Strangford Lough. So we're in the midst of the countryside and with farmers as neighbours.
And is that home or is that lockdown home?
Yeah, it's our company's international headquarters, which is home. I do have an office in Belfast, but I'd say I'd work 3 or 4 days a week from home, regardless.
And who's with you? Is it just you and a small?
Yeah, no, I'm at that lovely age where everyone's flown the nest, so it's just me and the lovely Caroline having to cope with each other.
I know that you've got your children spread wide and far. Certainly, I saw some stuff on Spain. Are you missing them a lot?
Yeah, that's I've daughter and grandson in Spain. They live up the coast north of Barcelona, and so that's been a challenge watching them being kept indoors now for the last 6 weeks. In fact, it was only last Sunday that Dylan was allowed out for the first time. He hadn't left the apartment in 6 weeks.
Wow.
So, you know, having the daily WhatsApp calls, watching them slowly go stir crazy has been, yeah, it's been a challenge, but it's actually been quite amusing at the same time as well. And his hour's walk on Sunday was, he was like the ever ready battery toy. He just went bonkers.
And yourself, have you learned anything about yourself?
Yes, that I'm actually a phenomenally talented cook. But the trouble is, I'm the only one that recognises that. Sorry.
You say so yourself.
Yeah, well, no one else is telling me, but I believe I am now, and not having recognised this talent previously.
And modesty, obviously, is something that comes natural.
Well, I hesitate to agree, but yes. I think the most surprising thing is how I've slowed down my thinking, funny enough. Because you've got more time, and before you would have been cluttered with everything. You were having to make lots of decisions all day long, and you got into a rhythm, and you thought you were important, you thought you were doing something great. And then suddenly you've got time to maybe watch news more or read an article. And I'm thinking a lot more. I'm thinking there's an awful lot of bollocks talked, excuse my French, and trying to discern what's the story behind the story. You know, what is really important and not important. So that's been the big revelation to me, is that you've actually always got the time. You just don't seem to apportion it properly in before we all got locked down.
Yeah, no, and it's come out in a number of these discussions about exactly that, is that we've got so much time now, and yet people that are working are saying that they're being very productive for what they're doing.
Yeah.
Take out a lot of, and it's possibly what I like the most, chit chat, banter,
Yeah.
meeting people. I think that's the thing that I'm missing the most, is body language, the essence of being close to other people, observing other people, talking to other people. I know you're a people person too, so I hope we don't revert to this being the norm.
Yes. It's interesting because, well, you know, Mike, my business partner, well, and Mike would be very much a people person and cannot sit still. and he'll embrace everyone. He makes everyone laugh, and he's a very tactile guy. And of course, for him and me, it's been torturous
Yeah.
to sort of readjust yourself. I just want to get out and see the family. I've got a brother in Belfast, and I've got an aging aunt in a care home in Northern Ireland, and I would see her often. It's very, very hard not to go and see people and check up on them. I'm finding that very hard.
That's a pretty full-on northern accent you have on you. It's an
It is. As you can see, I'm a blow-in. But originally, my mum is a Belfast woman. My dad was from Blackrock, south of Dublin.
Yeah.
So, but like a lot of my generation or their generation, moved to England, had the kids, and then we all came back again. So prodigal son returning.
As they say in America, with 11 to 12% of people in America calling themselves Irish American, we're not actually human. We're rabbits in disguise.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If we all came back to Ireland, everyone came back to Ireland, the island would sink. Who claimed they're Irish?
Or if all that have Irish passports now came back, we'd be in trouble. With last year,
Yeah.
Was it 1 million, 25% more, or something like that? So your business, I'll choose my words correctly, but you effectively are in the end of life IT business, where when people have effectively used the equipment they have to the best of its ability in life,
Yeah.
you make sure it goes away and never comes back, or should I say the data never comes back.
Yeah, that's our bit. We all that end of life data, all that equipment that gets refreshed. It obviously contains a lot of valuable information, and a lot of people in the past either passed it on, sold it on, didn't destroy it, didn't take account for what was happening. So GDPR has focused the minds for many organizations. So we collaborate with the data center operators with a service that they can decommission, ensure that all the data is destroyed, and then we get involved in recycling all the waste materials. In fact, funny enough, we're busier now than we've ever been before, and we're collaborating with two large corporates on a new service for the industry, which we're looking forward to launching in the coming months. And it's interesting working with corporates in this way on Zoom or Teamworks or whatever platform they use. It hasn't held anything up. If anything, it's progressed faster, the deal, if that's good English.
It's hard to get your mind around all that's going on in, should we suggest, the traditional industries, hospitality, retail, aviation. And when you look at what we're doing now and what our children outside, my children are being educated on, or contactless payments and stuff, the digital world has seen a 30% increase in 6 weeks. So that's data has increased.
Yeah.
And is that what you mean by you've never been busier? Is that there has never been a more interest in refreshing to bring up to speed, or is it that?
Yeah, no, it's all volume related. It's just the sheer capacity of data storage now. It's still exponential as far as we can see.
Yeah.
And it's becoming a bigger problem, not just the data security side, but the whole circular economy. What happens to all these materials, these servers? Where do they all go to? Are they going to landfill? Do they get recycled? If they do, to what level? And how's that material repurposed? And so we're involved now in this new economy, this circular economy. So I'm just saying that the data center operators themselves are having to provide these levels of services to their customers, because the demand has been driven from them, from their customers.
Yeah.
So, you know, whether it's a credit card company, their people are saying, well, how are you managing my data, but what are you doing with it? What happens to it? It's an exciting business opportunity because it has a lot of plus points in terms of carbon footprint considerations and also repurposing already used material.
Isn't it extraordinary? And there was always the old saying, a picture paints 1,000 words. And, you know, for many years, and with the whole carbon crisis and with the climate crisis, etc., and all the great word, we were getting statistics, we were getting drawings, we were getting incremental 1.5% and 2% on degrees and stuff. And yet, to me, the most iconic thing I've seen recently was a little collage of a dolphin swimming into Venice.
Yeah.
A kangaroo hopping down Melbourne Main Street. A fox that hadn't been seen. You know, it's extraordinary. If we can keep a hold of that to show that we're actually just participants in the world, not the drivers of the world.
You know, once we're through this pandemic and things have settled down, you know, we're faced with a much bigger challenge.
Yeah.
As a global society, how are we going to manage climate change?
Yeah, yeah. And maybe this is going to equip us, because one of the things that's sure that's happening, whether it lasts and what it's long lasts, is there's much bigger sense of community. There's a much greater acknowledgement of sort of different workers in our society, from health workers. What was the saying? What's the definition of a essential worker? And you say, what? Somebody who steps up, doesn't get paid much when the shit hits the fan. And it probably, when you think about it, it probably is. So listen, we've had fun. We could probably talk for hours. Do you have words? 3 words.
It's what you're just saying about the workers. And as I mentioned earlier, I intersect 2 farms. So I've got 2 farming neighbours. And these guys are of a certain age. The digital world hasn't really hit them. They live fairly isolated lives, and they're very worried men. They're not sure what the future for farming is for them. And they keep asking, Eoin, you're the clever clogs and computers, what the hell are we going to do? On behalf of them, because they need our help as much as possible, we should essentially
eat more spuds.
Yeah, eat more produce, keep local, keep healthy, and keep these guys in business.
Do you know, one of the outtakes of this whole process with these Barstool chats is the quality and insight of the 3 words, and the amount of thought people give to the 3 words. And that obviously is one from you, from a community, from the local. It's great, and I think it tells a lot about the bloke that you are. You've been a wonderful Host in Ireland partner. I think you're in 2-3 years. It's always great to have you and Mike around. I think you epitomise what Host in Ireland's about. It's about a community, a collaboration. It can be big or small. So thank you for being a partner. Thank you for taking this call. Stay healthy and eat more spuds, I guess, is the big chant now for the rest of the day.
Thank you, Garry, and we're delighted to be partners in Host in Ireland, and you keep up the good work yourself.
All right. Thanks a million.